One more. 10.90. Okay. So, yes. 3. But you were special because you're recorder. So being recorder is 2. All right. So, did that answer your question, Carlin? You want me to make it higher, correct? How's that? Brittany? No, that's a good question. No. Does it matter whether, could we have done x squared plus 5 squared? Yes. Does it matter whether this is 5 squared or this is 12 squared? That does matter. But on this side, because it's called the commutative property of equality, which means it doesn't matter what order we add in. I need to go do the lesson, and I'll come back to it. If I can, I'd like to do an application. Okay? All right, so this was yesterday. Let's see if we remember how to do this. I need to know the center and the radius. This first person is going to give me the center. Hope. Remember, let's refresh our memories. We've got x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. So HK is the center. So I need to know what the center of this circle is going to be. All right, because these are subtraction here, that means these come out. Excellent. So that's the center, and I need to know my radius. That's not what I wanted. Radius goes to Kayla. Okay, now this 48 is what? Right. R squared is 48, so how do I get down to R? Right, and what is that? So R is going to be the square root of 48, or 6.92. Now, what if I asked you to graph this? We didn't go over that, and they asked you to do that last night. What if I asked you to graph it? Graphing a circle is easier, I think, than graphing anything. So you're going to get your graph paper. You're going to get your coordinate plane. And where's my center? Okay, the center needs to be plotted. How do I plot the center? Jennifer's not here. How do I plot the center? Caitlin? Which direction? Okay, and up 1. Now, from here, I'm going to take my radius. Now, I'm glad we have a decimal because you might have to graph decimals. What you're going to do is you're going to go 6.9 units left, right, up, down. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.9 is close to 7. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.9 is close to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.9. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.9. All right, then you take your compass. How do you take your compass and use your compass? Let me see. We'll go here, and then I'll go find my compass. Brittany, how do I use this compass now to draw my circle? Do I put it over here? Where did your compass point go? On the center. And then what do? Open this to, that's a radius, correct? And then you should be able to do this, correct? Is that pretty sweet? Doesn't it? I love to graph circles are great. You have to be on the center, otherwise these you won't go through those. Oh, I could have had my compass starting here. Yes, but the compass point has to be on the center. Okay. If you're using a compass, you literally could get one of these done, and then if you're not using a compass and you're doing it by hand, you need all 4. And even then, it's not going to be very pretty. All right, so we just talked about graphing a circle. You're going to plot the center. You're going to plot 4 points, R units from the center, north, south, east, west, and you're going to connect the dots. All right, so I need to know my center of my circle. Kayla, what's the center of this circle? All right, and I'm going to need the radius of my circle, and the radius of my circle is, Travis? 4. All right, so in order to graph this, what am I going to do? Jennifer's not here. McKenna. So that means I go over 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then what? I can go left, up 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right, so I have a problem going down 4, don't I? But you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to worry about it because I've got my compass, and I'm going to put my compass on the center. And I'm going to open it up to over here, and then I'm going to draw my circle. All right. I want you, we're going to do 2 things in a minute. All right. So I need you to write the equation of the circle given the center and radius. That was part of your homework last night. So in order to do this, you need to remember that you've got x minus h, that's a really bad h, quantity squared, plus y minus k quantity squared equals your radius squared. So remember that the center is h, k. So that means I'm going to do x minus something squared, and then I'm going to do y minus something squared equals something else squared. So do you see how I have my subtraction signs built in? I need to put negative 4 here, I need to put positive 4 there, and I need to put 5 there. Now what's minus a minus? Plus. So we've got that. We've got y minus 4 squared, and we've got 25. Okay? MJ, how do you write the equation of this circle here?
X plus 2. Oh, wait, no, x plus 1.
There you go. Quantity.
Plus.
Quantity.
Squared.
Squared. That came from Pythagorean theorem. Plus y plus 2 quantity is equal to 8 squared, which is 64. You like it? All right, then we're going to go to Karen. Do you want to do, how are we going to do this one? Good. Quantity? Okay. Good. Is equal to square root of 5 squared. So I would like to see if you, what's y minus 0? Yeah, I want that simplified, and this needs to be simplified. The question is, what's square root of 5 times square root of 5? Square root of 25, which is indeed what? 5, yes. Yes, now let's talk about that one in a minute. We'll get that ready, and then I'll show you. Do you see how I wrote that out? That's what's going to help you do this one. Hope, you've got a homework pass. Ready, Hope? This is going to be quantity, okay, quantity equals right. All right, now let's talk about this. What does square mean? It means not times it by 2, but it's multiplied by its what? Self. All right, when you do this, you're going to multiply the whole part times the whole part. What's 2 times 2? 4. Then you're going to multiply the square root times the square root. What's 3 times 3?
9.
What's the square root of 9?
3.
What's 4 times 3?
12.
So this becomes x minus 5 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 12. Any questions on this? This was part of last night's homework. Did you all figure it out, or were you at a loss? I'll give you the option, since I didn't get it fully taught, to bring it into me tomorrow. If you did it and did it well, you can turn it in today. All right. So now what we've got to do is we've got to take it through a now what we're going to do is we're taking our translations, our rotations. Does it make sense to rotate a circle? No. So we're going to dilate and translate. Okay. So when you dilate or translate, you must get the center and then radius. Before you do anything. So my center is what? Oh, wait a minute. So this skill is really important. Tommy, what's my center? 5. All right. And my radius is Karen. Okay, remember this is r squared. Okay, r squared is 4. We squared it, putting it into it. How do we pull it out? Okay, let's go back over here. When we wrote the equation of a circle, we took the radius that we were given, and what did we do to it? We squared it. So if I start here and I want to go back to there, what do I have to do? Excellent. So the radius is 2. Now it says translate. When we translate, it involves the center. When we dilate, it involves the radius. Okay? So, what am I doing? Translating how? Over 1, down 2. So how do I do that to this ordered pair, Sydney? Translation of 1, negative 2 of my center, which is negative 3, 5, is? Okay, and this is what Sydney did. She said, I'm taking the center and adding 1 to the x. I'm taking the y value and adding negative 2. And that's how she got the new center. Okay, there was no dilation. The translation does not affect the radius. All right? So now if you were to graph this circle, what would we do? If we wanted to graph it. Now, do you have to graph it?
No.
Only if it tells you to what? Graph it. All right, so if we were going to graph the new circle, where would we be? We'd go over negative 2 up 3. And then we would go to the right twice, 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 twice. And then you can get your compass, or I could get my circle tool. All right. So, given a circle whose equation is, so what is the new equation? What's our new circle? Hold on. Let me have someone answer that. What is my new circle? Becky? This is my new center. Plus 2, because it's minus a minus 2, quantity. Okay, plus quantity is equal to 4. 2 squared or 4. So this is the transformed circle. It's the transformed circle. All right, we've got another translation that we want to do. All right, Samantha, what's the center currently? Positive 4, positive 6, and what's my current radius? Pardon? Right, square root of 3. Now, look, if you're having problems with this, then you can say r squared equals 3, and then you can solve for r, and you're going to end up square rooting it. Okay? So if that's an issue, you can do that. Now, we need to take it through a transformation, and this transformation, Carlin's going to look like what? We're going to transform using 3, negative 4, the center 4, 6. What will that look like? No, you're transforming it. Plus, and, that's a negative. You might not be able to see it. Negative 4 plus 6. So what is my new center? 7, 2. All right. So now let's go and write the equation of this circle. The equation of this circle goes to Karen.
X minus 7 squared.
Okay.
And y minus 2 squared.
Equals 3. Square root of 3 squared, which will be square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, let's do a dilation. Okay, we're going to do the dilation about its center. So, what is this center? Tommy? Okay, what's my radius, Tommy? What's square root of 4? 2. All right. So, what am I supposed to do? Is this going to be an enlargement or a reduction? This goes to Jennifer, who's not here. Enlargement or reduction? Harper? It's a reduction. Now, if we're going to dilate about O, its center, about the center, all we mess with is the radius. I'm going to take the radius, I'm going to multiply it by 1/2, and what will I have? 1. So I did not translate. What's the equation now for my new circle? Kayla? X minus a minus 3 quantity plus quantity squared is equal to new radius squared, 1. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a combination. My center is 0, negative 8. My radius is square root of 7. The translation affects what part of my circle? The center. So the translation of 2, 5 of my center, 0, negative 8, is going to be 2, negative 3. What did I do? 5 plus negative 8. That's the new center. The dilation is a quarter. What am I supposed to do to my radius? New radius is going to be square root of 7 times 1/4, or square root of 7 over 4. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say x minus the new center squared plus y minus its new coordinate squared is equal to the square root of 7 over 4 squared. Now what does that mean? That means square root of 7 over 4 times square root of 7 over 4. Top times top, bottom times bottom. What's the square root of 49? 7. So I want the final form to look like x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 7/16. Okay? How would you graph that? Well, 8/16 is a half. Is it going to be 7/4? When you square it, you do numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So if I want to go back to the radius, it would be square root of 7/4. Then you would have to actually do that division to find out what it was. Yeah. So I need A42 if you feel it's finished and finished well. Otherwise, I'll collect both of them tomorrow. I mean A41. Okay. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Okay, want to put it all in that stack? You can put that in the stack too.